Howdy folks, Timber Drifter here. You like my ornamental headdress? Well, it isn't ornamental, it's purely functional. This is a Vietnam era head net, mosquito net. One I wear all the time in mosquito season as necessary. So, a warning, there's going to be a lot of mosquitoes in this video, more than likely. I think the camera will pick them up and likely the audio will too. However, I will tell you that we had a killing frost, or nearly so, within a degree or two, a couple nights back, and it significantly knocked the population back, and it's been dry since then. So the mosquitoes aren't nearly as bad as they have been the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks plus. All right, so for those of you that haven't lived in mosquito country, this is all right. I can handle it. It's normal for this time of year. So don't worry too much about it. So, but when I'm out doing stuff, I wear that net and I wear these thin leather gloves that they can't bite through. I'm going to take them off for the video. And I've actually applied mosquito spray around my neck and the back of my head and the backs of my hands. So, and I hardly ever use mosquito spray. So, anyway, the rest of this video is going to be 98% about pipes and tobacco. All right, so if that's not your thing, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by. All right, I've been trying to make this video for a couple of weeks. Maybe 3. I can't remember now. But the mosquitoes have just been too bad to be outside making videos, and I don't make videos inside, not since back in the old garage days. And that garage has been torn down and rebuilt, and I can't smoke in there anymore, so that's that. Yeah, so I've been trying to make this video for a while. It's been a long time coming. Oh, there's a dragonfly. I hope it shows up on camera. Dragonflies eat mosquitoes. They are always welcome. Anyway, what the hell am I trying to say? See, this is the problem with this time of year in mosquitoes. It is hard to concentrate on what is going on and what you meant to say. You're constantly getting buzzed and bitten. Are they showing up on screen? I don't think they are. Good. They won't be terribly distracting then. Anyway, I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but the mosquitoes have kept me out. Kept me from sitting with my face exposed and my hands exposed for more than a few minutes outside to smoke a pipe and talk to you folks. So anyway, I like making these kind of videos, and I like watching these kind of videos where you just nerd out for an unlimited amount of time about pipes and tobacco. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Just going to talk about that. So last winter, I started out, I decided I was going to spend some time with English blends, what we call English blends, the traditional recipe being, Latakia, Turkish, and Virginia. Some variants there. Cavendish gets added, Burley gets added here and there, and they all kind of fall under the banner of English blends these days, and perhaps Balkans and other things like that. I'm not here to discuss that. But I kind of wanted to just focus on that. And my thought was what I wanted to do was kind of recreate what I have done in years past, which was to pack a big bowl with an English blend and just spend the evening reading. Maybe sip on a glass of scotch, maybe not. But just spend the evening reading by headlight or candlelight or lantern light. And just puff on a pipe until you forget that you're even puffing on a pipe. And it just becomes part of the story that you're reading. No large plumes of smoke, just kind of content puffing, right? That's what I wanted to kind of recapture that I've done over many times over the last 18 years. But I hadn't done it in over a few years recently, so I kind of chose to focus on that. And what I decided to start with, because I wanted to do a comparison between Raja's Court Cornell and Deal Raja's Court and McClellan Bombay Court, because many people have included this blend in lists that are similar to that blend, since that one is no longer available. Looky there, one's biting my face. I'll just brush her off. I had found that I actually had a jar of Bombay Court in my cellar that I didn't remember. Found it, promptly lost it. I have no idea what I did with it. Likely I put it somewhere where I thought I would find it. And I still haven't found it after like 6 months. Who knows? There's Dragonfly just chowing down on mosquitoes. Awesome. Anyway, I actually ended up smoking nearly 2 tins of this. There's still some left in this one, which I'll probably finish off relatively soon. It's a good blend. I like it. Will I reorder it? Probably. I'll definitely put it on the list along with Maltese Falcon and a number of other ones that I like. It's right next to my ear with that Dragonfly. Is it similar to McClellan Bombay Court? I don't think so. Not from my memory. There's similarities, but it's certainly not a replacement for it. But I liked it. Next, I went to a longtime favorite of mine, Robert McConnell Latakia Flake. I love that label. That black background and that sort of, I guess I wouldn't call that royal blue. I don't quite know what shade of blue that is. And the gold thistle, I like that label. Latakia Flake is a bit of a misnomer for this one. This tastes very similar to, come on, brain. I think in images, so words are sometimes difficult for me to come up with. The package it's a yellow folding package with a sort of red circle on it. I may not get it. It's one of my favorite pipe tobaccos that you can't get here in the U.S. Anyway, this tastes just like that one does. Reaver Plug, that's it. This tastes very much like Reaver Plug, although it's flakes rather than plugs, and it's also a very wet flake. These days, I don't even dry it out. I just twist it, push it into the bowl, and super fine crumble up some on the top and start it that way. And just know that you're going to be smoking it for a long time. The next one I went on to was not Robert McConnell, Rattray's Red Rapparee. I smoked a 10 of this a long time ago, 18 years ago, somewhere in there. I didn't know what to make of it then. I was going to say I didn't really care for it now, but that's not true. I smoked the whole 10. I enjoyed it. Just not quite my thing. You know, it's a little rough around the edges for what I like. However, I did like its twin sister, Rattray's Black Mallory. I quite liked this. I will be ordering more of this as I can get it. And I did find between those two mixtures, who blends this? Is this? It's not Dan Tobacco. It's Kohlhase and Kopp. So I did, want to thank Kohlhase and Kopp for in both of those 10s, including a very nice toothpick. Both those 10s had a very nice toothpick, which is excellent because I do tend to smoke these tobaccos after dinner. So, very thoughtful of them to include a toothpick in either 10. And to sort of finish out the winter, I went with one of my all-time, I'm going to say probably my top 10, one of my top 10 favorite pipe tobaccos of all time, Robert Lewis Tree Mixture. It's that good, I think. Your mileage may vary. So I was smoking this one kind of on toward spring, and spring lasted a while this year, as some of y'all saw from my videos. winter kind of blended into spring until all of a sudden there was no snow and then there was mosquitoes. So, but I thoroughly enjoyed that. And the pipes that I smoked that in, because I tend to like to pack a large bowl and spend an evening smoking a bowl and reading. And I won't, when I smoke one of these larger pipes, I often don't repack it. Sometimes I'll let it go out. Sometimes I'm just sort of clenching it while I'm reading and there's barely any smoke coming out, and I can get 2, maybe 3 hours out of a pipe sometimes, maybe more if I let it go out for a while and relight it. Reading just deep into the night. There's a mosquito on the camera lens. Get off of there, you little shit. So this is one of those. This is a Blakemar Matador. One of my all-time favorite pipes for English blends. The next would be this Peterson Sherlock Holmes, another wonderful pipe for long reads. And the next two are the big boys. This is a, I always forget what this one's called, Prince of Wales Giant, that the Artful Codger gave me years ago because it was a little bit too big to be smoking velvet out of. And I totally agree with that. Velvet just becomes a boiling mess by the bottom of this bowl. But I said I have slightly larger than medium-sized hands, I guess. So not giant hands, but not little bitty hands either. So you can kind of get an idea. It's damn near an inch, maybe an inch across top of that. It's a big bowl, and this one is equally sized. This one just says "Made in England" on it. This is one of my earliest pipes. I've had this since I was probably 22, 23. Excellent pipe. Big Canadian. So after I kind of finished up with my English winter, I moved on into, I'd burnt up all my tins. Everything that I had that was open was gone. And I had all my bulk tobaccos out and everything. And I sat down 2 nights in a row and I cleaned all my pipes, thoroughly cleaned them. I even did salt treatments on a couple, which I don't normally do. And I polished them up, hand polished, and put them all away. So I only had what were on the racks by my table and my clays and my Meerschaums. And I thought, you know what? It's time to just crack a new bag of Orion's Arrow, which I did. This was a 1-pound bag. And I'm just going to smoke this until I'm ready to smoke something else. And I'm just going to smoke a couple of clays and a Meerschaum. And that's what I did. I probably might have smoked 1 briar in there sometime, and I probably smoked 2 or 3 cigars, and I think I made it like 41 days just smoking this tobacco, with the exclusion of a couple of cigars. In 2 clays and a Meerschaum, and maybe 1 or 2 briars, just the one time each. So I'm going to pack up a clay, and then we'll get right back with you. We're back on, yeah. All right, there's just enough wind blowing. It's actually hard to light this pipe, which is what's keeping the mosquitoes off of me too. So I packed this with Orion's Arrow because I want to talk about that. What did I say? 41 days. I meant 31. I didn't mean 41. I smoked Orion's Arrow for just about a month, or maybe slightly over a month, and no other tobacco. I've talked about this blend a number of times. I'm not going to discuss it again. It actually went out on me already. Now, I like clay pipes. I have always liked clay pipes. From a very young age, I was interested in clay pipes. Who knows why? And I've had this clay pipe for a lot of years. However, a couple of winters ago, 2 or 3, I don't remember, I fell asleep smoking this clay pipe, and I dropped it. And I fell asleep in my rocking chair. And at some point in the night, I moved around and I rocked over the stem and broke it. and immediately woke up and immediately knew what I had done. This pipe had been about that long where my finger is here, and it's broken right about there. And it broke in kind of a jagged way, and I had to file it down and sandpaper it and stuff, but I found it was just, although I could smoke it, it wasn't quite pleasurable anymore. It had broken just a little bit too close to the bowl. And over the years, I've made several wood and antler mouthpieces that fit over a clay stem, because if you smoke a clay pipe in your teeth, you will get a pipe notch. Look up pipe notch on the internet if you're not familiar with it. You'll see a bunch of skulls from the colonial period with notches ground into their teeth from clenching clays. I don't really want that. And of course, ceramic is harder than your enamel, so it will grind away your teeth. So I've made a number of bits for clay pipes over the years, but I was looking at this one, and I've been smoking this pipe for a long time, probably 10 plus years. And I didn't want to just ditch it because it broke a little too small. So I was looking through my box of pipe parts. Many of probably have similar boxes. And I had this knuckle of bamboo from back when I was messing around or monkeying around with clay, or come on, brain. Not briar, not clay, not Meerschaum. What's left? Cob. There, we got it. Messing around with cob mods. And this actually fit in there pretty damn tight without having to drill it. And then I found a cob stem, and I did have to drill it to fit this stem. I'm not gonna. It does come apart easily. I keep both the stem tenon and the end of the clay lubed up with a little bit of beeswax, so they actually do remove rather easily. But I'm not going to do that for this video. But I do have to remove the stem to clean the pipe with a pipe cleaner, and this is a relatively narrow draft, so it does have to be done with a Dill's pipe cleaner, or one of the pipe cleaners meant for Falcons. And this has become one of my favorite clays. I liked it before, but it is now, also because it has you see that? It perfectly fits my thumbnail, so I suspect that was somebody else's thumbnail when they were pulling that pipe out of the mold, which is kind of cool. And it has the TD on it, which you won't be able to see, but it does, and it says Germany somewhere on it right here. So, TD, Timber Drifter. I always tell everybody these pipes all belong to me. And I have another one that I broke even before this one, and another one that's unsmoked and unbroken that I'm saving for, retirement. That'll never happen. So I like these. They're just the right bowl size. I like the shape, that cutty shape. So a little word about the color of this pipe. I actually don't handle this bowl much anymore. I used to hold this by the bowl. In fact, I used to practice smoking clay pipes by holding it by the bowl all the way down to teach myself to slow smoke, which I don't do much in videos, but in real life I do. I always said if you can't hang on to a clay while you're smoking it, you're smoking too fast, right? Which, smoke how you want to. I ain't here to tell you what to do. But that's not where the color comes from. The color comes from because I have burnt this clay out in and on my wood stove at least 5 times over the last 10 years. And I don't know if the actual color shows up very well on camera. You never really know till you rewatch it. But the stem is kind of a nice rose color, and the bowl is various shades of kind of burnt caramel and rose and tan. And the way that I clean this pipe, once it gets past the point where I can't run a pipe cleaner through it anymore, once I put it in the ashes and burnt it out, which I'd read somewhere in historical documents about that being the way you clean out clay. But since then, I actually put it on top of my wood stove on a winter night when the wood stove's running damn near red hot, and just let it burn out all night. And when I wake up in the morning, the stove is cool and the pipe is cool, and I'll fire it up again. And that tends to burn the pipe white again, almost. But every time I do that, once I start smoking it again, it colors up a little bit more than it did before. So, if I can keep from breaking this damn thing, who knows what it'll look like in 10 years. The other clay. This is my last Churchwarden clay remaining that I haven't broken. It's pretty long. You know, it's hard to tell on camera. And it's got a sizable bowl. I mean, my thumb fits all the way in there. This one says Gouda Holland on it, and I think it says Gudenwagen, and pipe is spelled P-I-J-P. Got a little bit of label left on it. I don't think that'll probably focus. It probably won't. A little bit. I've never burnt this one out. This actually has an open enough draw that a Churchwarden pipe cleaner fits through it. But once the pipe cleaner pops out in the bottom there, you have to have needle nose pliers to be able to get that little tiny bit of wire that's left here and pull it back out. So it was these two pipes and my mirror that I smoked for a month. It has a stamp there too that I know it won't pick up, and I actually can't see what it is either. Got some cross hatching here that may be from the paddle where they rolled out the stem. I don't know. Anyway, this is an excellent pipe. Of course, my claw and egg Meerschaum that I smoke all the time. Another story on that one. 22 minutes. This is going to be a long video. This one was coloring rather nicely. And there's still some color on there. Until I was smoking it one evening and reached up and grabbed it right here when the pipe was rather hot. My finger touched right there and left a fingerprint. Big yellow, perfect representation of my left index finger. And it didn't wash out, didn't come out. I dipped the pipe in water, as Bremen Pipe Smoker shows in his video. And if you haven't seen that one on Meerschaum, you should check out Bremen Pipe Smoker Meerschaum. Didn't work. I re-waxed the pipe, and it didn't work. So the first day that we had 80-degree weather, which was a month ago, when there was still snow on the ground, I pulled the stem and the threads out of this pipe, and I set it on my dashboard in my car, like this, on a champagne cork. You know, in a closed vehicle on an 80-degree day with the windshield facing south in the northern hemisphere, your car becomes an oven. And it was probably damn near boiling point in there. If I'd have put a steel cup of water in there, it might have boiled. And it took almost all the color out of this pipe. And it also took the fingerprint off of there, which I'm happy about. And I will be more careful in the future not to touch this pipe when I'm smoking it. That worked. Some of my Meerschaums, I can touch them when I'm smoking them, and they don't do that. Other ones, they do. It's a certain quality of Meerschaum. I don't know how to tell you. I've had enough Meerschaum pipes over the years to know the difference just by looking at them, that they'll take a fingerprint and staining. This is that quality of Meerschaum, but I don't know how to describe it to you. Anyway, so for a month I smoked 3 pipes basically. Those were the ones. Orion's Arrow was the blend. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I really wasn't tempted to smoke anything else until the real hot weather hit. And then I opened a 10 of St. Bruno. An older one than this, a 10 of St. Bruno from 2018. And it was rusted. not by the tobacco, but it was rusted around the rim. You know, they have cure it with vinegar. And I have now smoked through all of that and thoroughly enjoyed it. And it had mellowed out significantly. That vinegar odor, taste as well. So I'm going to smoke one more tin of that this summer. And then on the lineup is H State Burley, which a friend of mine, two friends of mine, but one of them's a pipe smoker, came up to visit me last summer. Well, they didn't come up to visit me. They came up to go on vacation and visited me on the way, and it was awesome because I think they're the only people other than my parents that have ever visited me here in the last 18 years. So he dropped off 10 of H State Burley, so I'm definitely cracking this summer. It's one that I'd wanted to try but didn't order. So I'll be getting to that one. Another one, kind of Sun Bear. This is not the, which one is this? 2019 10, I think it's, I don't know. I'll have to check. Anyway, it's the tequila and elderflower one. I haven't had this before. Definitely opening it. I'm fairly certain I'm going to like it, and I'll probably regret not having more of it in my cellar. I also have a tin of Scudo that Trailing the Woolly Mammoth is his channel name. He sent me this one and a couple others and a number of other tins, and I haven't opened this. I haven't smoked a Scudo for many, many years. In fact, I think a Scudo was probably one of the first like 20 tins of pipe tobacco I ever bought. 18, 20 years ago, whatever it was. This one's from 2016. And if I don't get around to opening it this summer, I'll just put it back in the cellar. No problem. But I'm looking forward to it, trying it out after so many years. And of course, these two. And these two aren't the two tins that I'm going to open. I've got older tins that are from 2018, I think it is. These are both from 21. I got a whole bunch of tins from 21. And these don't have the warning label on them, which is why I selected these to show on camera, because the older ones do. How did they get away with not having new tins with warning labels? Maybe let's just not talk about that, because I like it. I'm definitely going to smoke at least 1 tin each of those. It might end up being 2 tins each. We'll see. This is one that I've been trying the last couple of years. The McBaron H&H Pure Virginia. I like this a lot. I don't like it as much as the Capstan Golden Navy Flake, but I like it a lot. And I got a few tins aging now. I think I got 5 or 6 of them. They're all the bigger ones. I don't know how I got this skinny one. I think I'm probably going to end up ordering a lot more of this. And I wanted to say another thing about these square tins. People talk about these square tins as not being very stable. And I'm not saying that they're wrong, okay? I'm just going to tell you my experience, all right? I live in a very small house that's not climate controlled. It doesn't get that hot in the summer because it's built with trees to the south, and once they leave out, it shades the house. But in the wintertime, the sun comes in the windows, and if I'm gone all day, the house will get down to damn near freezing temperature in the coldest part of the winter. And if I'm gone for a few days not feeding the fire, it'll get down to whatever the outside temperature is, just about. If it's a sunny day, it will warm it up in there because it's passive solar. But my house can get down to sub-zero. And some of these tins I've been storing for 4 or 5 years. I handled all of them a couple of days ago. Not a single one has popped. And you can tell when they pop because they won't. That's the label, not the tin lid. The label isn't stuck in the center because the tin's recessed, but you can tell when they pop because there'll be space there, and you can shake it around, everything's loose, and you can smell tobacco through the tin. Not a single one of my square tins has popped, and not a single one of any of my tins has popped. And that's not in a climate-controlled environment. Like I said, it gets sub-zero in there. Sub-zero Fahrenheit. And the house gets above, I'm going to say 85 degrees. It probably never gets warmer in there than that. Not a single one has popped. That's my experience. Just saying. I'm sure there'll be a couple of people that want to argue with that, but I'm not lying. So, yeah, I covered everything. So the last thing I want to talk about, and the original reason I wanted to make this video, was because after 4 years of being on the email list for Gawith Hogarth & Co. Rum Twist, and I haven't been consistently on that list. Every time it comes in, I miss it, and I get back on the email list. It only comes in, what, once or twice a year? Maybe 3 times at the most. For 4 years, I've been trying to order this blend. And I've had it before. A number of times. I woke up one night because I had forgotten to put my phone on airplane mode, and I got an email, and the phone dinged, and it woke me up. And I thought, what the hell? And I looked at the phone, and it was an email from Smoking Pipe saying that they'd got a drop of Gawith and Hogarth Rum Twist, and this must have been a month ago. And so, right away, you know, late winter and spring is a tight time for me financially. And I've only got one credit card, and it doesn't have a big limit on it. And I actually didn't know exactly what I had on there at that time, so I had to call and find out at midnight how much I had on there, do the math, how much it would, how much I could order. I ended up, I could order a pound, and I got the free shipping that way. So I ordered a pound of Gawith Hogarth Rum Twist at about, I think it was about like 20 after 1 in the morning. And I should have got a bigger jar. I wasn't able to fit it all in here. I don't know if the glare is going to be too bad for you even to see that. I was able to kind of twist most of the twists in there. That's most of a pound. That's a lot of security right there, boy. You know, if I was going to run off into the wilderness for a while, like y'all ain't going to see me for a year or two, this might be one of the, well, it certainly would be because it's the one I got, would be one of the tobaccos. I'd probably stuff this down in an Nalgene bottle, and this would be the only one I'd take with me along with that, if I had any. Another good choice would be that Wessex Curly Block, or any of the other twists from Gawith Hogarth. Not so much Sam Gawith. I don't know why I don't get along with those as well. But there was a couple, 3 that wouldn't fit in that jar, so I'm going to jar them separately. 2 full size. And I'm going to hold one of these up because you know what YouTube likes to use for my thumbnail? They like to use me holding something up, and I don't get to choose what it is. So hopefully they don't think this is a turd and that it violates community guidelines. And hopefully they don't think it's tobacco, because I'm pretty sure that violates community guidelines too. But there, YouTube, you got my face and me holding something up. Use that for the thumbnail. Come on, help me out for once. They also love using me with my eyes closed or a weird expression on my face. There was another short section in here that I'm keeping out for this summer, or probably this year's smoking, really. It's a rope made out of tobacco. It looks kind of like a cigar, but you can't smoke it like a cigar. It's way too dense for that. Oh man, it smells good. So I hadn't smoked this for a while. I smoked the rum flake well, not all the time, but as often as I can get it. Their rum flake is my holiday blend, which often means I smoke it for 3 months. But that's different than this. That's different than this. This blend is much stronger than the rum flake. It's been a while since I smoked any of that rum twist. And about halfway through this pipe, smoking, this ain't a big bowl, smoking that rum twist, I had to sit down. And I was already sitting down. You know. And I'm not a nicotine lightweight, but I'm also not one of these guys like Yardism that can just smoke and smoke and smoke and not feel it. Well, I can smoke 100 Bookshop all day long. If I space it, I can't chain smoke it. But that one put me on my butt. And I was already on my butt. I didn't get the spins, though. Whenever you start feeling that, just back off and put the pipe down. Don't keep smoking it. But I love that blend. And that's probably enough for me for the next decade, if not the rest of my damn life. Who knows how long that'll be anyway, given the present situation. And any number of other incalculable factors and calculable ones. Anyway, hey, I'm Timber Drifter. This has just been me jabbering about pipes and tobacco. If you stuck around this long, obviously you couldn't get to your phone to switch to something else, or you found it interesting. Like I said, I like these kinds of videos. I don't know that I've ever made one this long before. Probably take 2 days to upload. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Take care. Get outside.